I'm going to talk about occurring patterns. So there's some positive PNA for now. There's no pressure anyway, so it's going to be mostly in low pressure some areas because of precipitation showing up at lake effect. It's showing up some in New York State, so northeastern, southeastern Lake Ontario actually. So 7 p.m. There's some negative PNA and no pressure anyway, so it's going to be mostly in low pressure. So next 24 hours, there's some slight negative, actually negative PNA with some 989 millibars per pressure, which is the same thing, but it's closest to Perry Sound for today's. So and let's go to what is then this freezes the models. So there's some 976 millibars per pressure. It's in southeastern Maine, so positive PNA. So whatever pressures in northeastern United States or Midwesterns is going to affect Southern Ontario actually. So next 24 hours, 7 p.m., some positive PNA. So next 24 hours, there's still some positive PNA. Let's look at the precipitation pattern. So go to 1 p.m., nothing. 7 p.m. today. So we'll go to today, nothing. So 7 a.m. Oshawa, Ontario is going to get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall. So 1 p.m. Down to Toronto, Mississauga, Brampton. Down to Toronto, Mississauga, Brampton. Oakville, Hamilton, Orangeville. Queens Park, Burlington. Port Erie, London, Whiten, Owensound, Hobay, Lionshead, Dunny Beach, Palm Beach, Salakme, Midland, Barrie, Honor, Port Elgin, those cities are gonna get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfalls. So next hours, so Scarborough, Stoffel, down to Toronto, these cities are gonna get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall, including London, Whiten, Owensound, Collingwood, Lions Head, Hobay, Collingwood, Mi- Hanover, Port Elgin, those cities are gonna get Hamilton, Burlington, Oakles. Those cities are gonna get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall. So let's do the heavier precipitation. So Thunderbirds, Bombay, Salt Lake Bay, Midland, Barrie, Georgia, Belleville. Those cities are gonna get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall, including Niagara on the Lake Niagara Falls City, parts of it. Port Erie, those cities are also going to get 2.5 millimeters of rainfall. So let's do it again. So let's do the heavier precipitation. So Dana Beach, Palm Beach, Salt Lake Bay, Barrie, Georgia, Belleville, Niagara on the Lake, Fort Erie, and parts of Niagara Falls City. Those cities are going to get some 2.5 millimeters of rainfall. So let's do the last heaviest. So Quebec, Peterborough, so the parts of Niagara Falls City, those cities are going to get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall in North Hanover. So Midland is also included, 2.5 millimeters of rainfall. So let's do next hour, 7 a.m. So Barrie, Beverly, Isle, Salt Lake City, Sussex is going to be 0.25 millimeters of rainfall. So Collingwood is 2.5 millimeters of rainfall. Lines, no, it's gonna be Hobay. It's gonna take a minute to find Hobay on the Google Maps. So, Hobay is actually gonna get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall. Same thing as Georginia's, Pickering, Uxbridge. Uxbridge it's gonna be wet snow, but it's gonna be mixed precipitation, but it's still gonna be 0.25 millimeters snowfall. So Niagara on the lake is 0.25 millimeters of rainfall. So Port Elgin, Hanoi doesn't count. So Port Elgin is only one. It's good. Port Elgin, Thunder Beach, Palm Beach, Salt Lake Bay, Midland borderline not gonna count. So those are the six of Midland. It's going to be 0.25 millimeters of rainfall. So including so next hours 1 p.m. So Collingwood, Barrie, Georgina, not Georgina, Beverly, Isle, Stoffel, those cities are gonna get some 0.25 millimeters of snowfall, including Dana Beach, Solid, no, Bomb, Bomb Beach, Thunder Beach is gonna be 0.25 millimeters of snowfall. London is gonna be 0.25 millimeters of rainfall, so Next, we're not gonna do Cape Crocker like yesterday. So London, Collingwood, Barrie, Beverly Isles, Thunder Beach, Palm Beach, Salt Lake Bays. Those cities are gonna get some, or including Port Elgin. Those cities are gonna get some 0.25 millimeters of snowfall. But we could do Hanover actually. It's gonna be 0.25 millimeters of snowfall borderline actually. Niagara on the Lake Winspy. It's gonna get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall. Port Erie is gonna get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall. So next hour, 7 a.m. So Scarborough, downtown Toronto, Stouffville, Markham, Richmond Hill, Newmarket, Orangeville. Those cities are gonna get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall, including Collingwood, Thunder Beach, Palm Beach, Barrie, London. London is actually counts because it's the edge of like 2.5 centimeters or millimeters of snowfall. So it's instead of that, it's gonna be 0.25 millimeters of snowfall, including no, not gonna count Niagara on the lake. Next hour, so 1 p.m. So Collingwood, Palm Beach, on the beach, Stouffville, Newmarket, parts of it. Those cities are gonna get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall. Let's do double check. London's gonna be 0.25 millimeters of rainfall, so snowfall actually. So blue is snowfall, green is rainfall. So things are corrected when I said that. So 7 p.m. So London doesn't count. So Collingwood and Palm Beach, Thunder Beach, Salt Lake Bay, Barrie, Beverly Isles is going to get some 0.25 millimeters of snowfall, including Port Elgin. So next hour, 7 a.m. So this Collingwood, this kind of this a mixed like one right side of Collingwood is rainfall, 0.25 millimeters of rainfall, left side is 0.25 millimeters of snowfall. So nothing else around Southern Ontario. 8 p.m., 1 p.m. actually. So there's nothing else except Port Elgin is going to get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall. So next final hour, there's nothing else except Port Elgin. Same thing. It's going to get some 0.25 millimeters of rainfall. Let's double check on Google Maps. Not going to count that actually. So total rainfall once every 12 hours. So I'm not going to do 120 hours anymore. So 8 p.m. today, nothing. So number 15, let's go to some 8 p.m. So Brampton, down to Toronto, no, Brampton, Stouffville, Newmarket, Orangeville. Orangeville is, it could be actually. Orangeville is could be. So Uxbridge, London, those cities gonna be 3 millimeters of rainfall. Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville, 3 millimeters of rainfall. Downtown Toronto, 4 millimeters of rainfall. Oshawa, 4 millimeters of rainfall. 7 millimeters of rainfall is Vancouver. Peterborough, it's 8 millimeters of rainfall. Belleville, 6 millimeters of rainfall. Mississauga is 4 millimeters of rainfall. 4 millimeters of rainfall. Wyerton, Owen's is 2.5 millimeters of rainfall. Collingwood is 2 millimeters of rainfall. 2.5 Barrie, Georginia's. It's going to be 4 millimeters of rainfall. It's actually could be 5 actually, but it's going to be 4. So Arilla is going to be 6 millimeters of rainfall. It could be actually. So Thunder Beach, Palm Beach, Salt Lake Bay, it's going to be 6 millimeters of rainfall. So actually, it's going to be 5 millimeters of rainfall. It's going to be the old cities like Thunder Beach, Palm Beach, Salt Lake Bay, Midland. So the line said whole bay is gonna be 3 millimeters of rain, or actually most of the time it's 2.5 millimeters of rainfall. It's in whole bay, and line says it's actually 3 millimeters of rainfall. So Barry is done. Georginia, let's do Georginia. Double check. It's gonna be 4 millimeters of rainfall instead of 5. So Orilla is gonna be 7 millimeters, 6 millimeters of rainfall. Orilla. So Niagara on the lake, 4 millimeters of rainfall, 5 millimeters of rain. Niagara Falls City. For Erie, it's going to be 6 millimeters, actually 7 millimeters of rainfall. So it's around it. So against by 4 millimeters of rainfall. So number 16, it's gonna take a while. So Oshawa, Uxbridge is 0.2 millimeters of rainfall. Might be a wrong place. So Niagara on the Lake is 0.2 to 0.7 millimeters of rainfall. 1 millimeters of rainfall is in London. This is precipitation per 12 hours. So I'm going to call it rainfall. It's combined with like all types of precipitation except hail. So 1 millimeters of rainfall is in Collingwood. So Palm Beach is two. No, it's going to be 1.2 millimeters of rainfall. Same thing as Dana Beach. Palm Beach is actually 1.2 millimeters of rainfall, except Palm Beach is borderline. So Salt Lake Bay is 0.7 millimeters of rainfall. Barrie is 1.2 millimeters of rainfall. But it's the same thing as Beverly Isles, but more borderlines than Barrie. Georgina is 0.2 millimeters of rainfall. So let's put Elgin. But Elgin is going to be 0.7 millimeters of rainfall. So this why it's going to be 0.7 millimeters of rainfall. I count, don't usually count like for Gwinsby actually. So Hanoi doesn't count unless it's low. So it could be actually 0.2 millimeters of rainfall in Hanoi. So let's do November 17th. It's going to take a minute. 7 p.m. So Stoffel is going to be Stoffel is actually borderline 0.7 millimeters of rainfall. So Hope Bay is nothing. We're gonna say nothing. Port Elgin is actually 0.7 millimeters of rainfall. So Newmarket it's actually the borderline 0.7 millimeters of rainfall. So Collingwood is 2.5 millimeters of rainfall. And Palm Beach is 0.7 millimeters of rainfall. Thunder Beach is 1.2, Salt Lake Bay is 0.2, Barrie is 0.7, Beverly Hills is 0.7. Let's see nothing else skipped any honors. So let's do final hour 7 p.m. So Boy Elgin's only one, so it's gonna get some 0.7 millimeters of rainfall. Let's do like missed days like later on, so if it's possible. So let's do total snowfall, winter precipitation, then temperature patterns. So let's take some minute to set up everything all the times. The 8th, November 14 gets nothing, so let's go too slowly. To November 15, nothing. So November 16, it gets something. So snowfall 0.1 centimeters of snowfall. This is in centimeters of snowfall per 12 hours, which is most accurate for most people. So 0.2 is Newmarket, and 0.9 centimeters is Uxbridge, 0.3 is in Oshawa, London is 0.6, Collingwood is 1.1 centimeters, 0.2 is in Port Elgin, it could be 0.3 actually. It's going to be 1 centimeters in Port Elgin, so there could be nothing else in Western Southern Ontario actually. So let's do 1.7 centimeters is actually 1.6 is in Palm Beach. 1.7 is in Thunder Beach, Salt Lake Bay. It's going to get some 0.2 centimeters of snowfall. Beverly Isles is actually 1.7 centimeters of snowfall. Same thing in Barrie. Georgina is 0.2. 0.3 is Guns by Hanover 0.2. So next hour, so I might miss the cities. So the information about weather takes a month. So actually, it's gonna take a long time actually, or a short time for the weather information or space information. So Stoffel is 0.5 centimeters of snowfall. Newmark is 0.8 centimeters of snowfall. Uxbridge 0.1 centimeters of snowfall. Port Elgin is gonna be 0.2 centimeters of snowfall. 2.5 is Collingwood. 0.2 is in Palm Beach. Thunder Beach is 0.7 centimeters of snowfall. Salt Lake Bay is going to be 0.2 centimeters of snowfall. Barrie 0.2, Beverly Hills 0.2, Sun Winds by 0.1. So next hour, final hour, 7 1 p.m. Let's do it again. So 7 p.m. So it's gonna be 7 p.m. tomorrow. Number 18 actually. So there's nothing else except close to Port Elgin. 3 p.m. So Brampton's 9 degrees, 8 degrees in downtown Toronto, Stouffville, Newmarket, Orange Hills. So Orange Hills is, So 8 degrees in London, 8 degrees in Brighton, 6 degrees in Collingwood. Hamilton is 8 degrees, Oakville's 7 degrees. Everywhere in Niagara Falls 8 degrees, 6 degrees is in Oshawa, 6 degrees is in Uxbridge, 6 degrees in Peterborough, 7 degrees in Cobourg, 7 degrees in Belleville. Lake Simcoe, no, Barrie is 7 degrees, Georginia 6 degrees. It's gonna be 7 degrees, but it's gonna be 5 degrees actually, Georginia. Beverly, no, Orilla, it's gonna be 5, 6, no, it's gonna be 7 degrees. So Palm Beach, it's going to be 6 degrees, but it's gonna be 6 degrees. And Botany Beach is 5 degrees, 6 degrees. It's in 6 degrees, it's closest to Salt Lake Bay, so 6 degrees. So Owen Sound is White and Owen Sound is closer, like it could be a degree colder, so it's not gonna count for Owen Sound. So Lions Head, Whole Bay, it's going to be 6 degrees. It could be 5 degrees, 7 degrees actually. So let's see if I skip any city. So Beverly Isles is 6 degrees. So next hour, 7 a.m. London's 2 degrees, 3 degrees in Brighton, 1 degrees in Collingwood, Hamilton 4 degrees, 5 degrees in Oakville, 4 degrees in Brampton, 5 degrees in Toronto, Stouffville is 1 degree, Scarborough is not gonna count. Newmarket is 0 degrees, Orangeville 1 degrees, -1 is in Oshawa, Uxbridge actually. Oshawa is 1 degrees, 2 degrees in Cobourg, -2 is Peterborough, -1 is Belleville. Everywhere in Niagara Falls is 2 degrees, Queensway is 3 degrees. 1 degree is in Salt Lake Bay, 1 degree is also in Palm Beach. Thunder Beach is actually 2 degrees. So let's see. So most part of Lake Simcoe is gonna be 0 degrees, except for Arella is -1 degree. So Lions Head, Whole Bay, it's going to be 2 degrees. Actually, it's gonna be 38 degrees. It could be 4 degrees, but it's gonna be could be 4 degrees actually. So those cities, so actually it's going to be like those temperatures. So 3 p.m. London is 12 degrees, 9 degrees in Brighton, 7 degrees in Collingwood, 9 degrees in Hamilton, 9 degrees in Oakville, Brampton 6 degrees, 7 degrees in Toronto, 5 degrees in Stouffville, Scarborough is 6 degrees, Oshawa is 5 degrees, 5 degrees in Newmarket, Orangeville, 4 degrees in Uxbridge, Cobourg is 6 degrees, 3 degrees in Peterborough, 4 degrees in Belleville, Niagara on the Lake is 11 degrees, but 10 degrees in Niagara Falls City. So orange was 5 degrees. So next hour, did I skip anything? Lots of cities. So Lions Head, Whole Bay, it's going to be 9 degrees. 6 degrees is in Sala, Palm Beach. Thunder Beach is actually 6. Thunder Beach is actually it's going to be 5 degrees. So 6 degrees. So for 7 degrees is actually Thunder Beach. Salt Bay is 6 degrees. So Barrie is 4 degrees, Orilla is 3 degrees, Georginia is going to be 4 degrees, Beverly Isles is going to be 4 degrees. Great, actually, and let's correct it again, like single. So 4 degrees is 4 degrees in Barrie, Georginia is 4 degrees, Orilla is 3 degrees, Beverly Isles is going to be 4 degrees. So let's correct the cities. I'm not gonna do Fort Area, Port Elgin, and Hanover. So 7 p.m. So London is 2 degrees, 1 degree in Whitetown, Collingville, Owenson, Newmarket, Uxbridge, Peterborough, those cities. So Brampton, Stouffville, Oshawa, Cobourg, Belfast, 2 degrees, Hamilton, 3 degrees, Oakville, 3 degrees, Niagara on the Lakes, 4 degrees, Niagara Falls cities, 3 degrees, Toronto, 3 degrees, Oshawa is 2 degrees. So let's do lakes in random. So Blind said whole base 1 degrees, 3 degrees is in Thunder Beach, 2 degrees, I mean 3 degrees in Salt, 2 degrees actually, 2 degrees is in Salt Lake Bay. 1 degrees is going to be Palm Beach. So Lake Simcoe time. So Barry, it's 1 degrees, 2 degrees. So 1 degrees in Orla, Barry, Georgia, Beverly Isles is also 1 degrees. So next hour, 3 p.m. 3 degrees in London, 2 degrees in Whiteham, 1 degrees in Collingwood, 5 degrees in Hamilton, 4 degrees in Brampton, Stowford, 2 degrees in Newmarket, Stowford, 2 degrees in Ashgabat, 1 degree in Uxbridge, Peterborough, 3 degrees in Coburg, 2 degrees in Belleville, 5 degrees in Niagara on the Lake. Niagara Falls City is 4 degrees. Hamilton's, Burlington's 5 degrees, including Bisbee. So Lions Head Hope Bay is going to be 2 degrees. 2 degrees in Thunder Beach, 1 degree is in Palm Beach, 1 degree is in Salt Lake Bay. Barrie is close to zero, so it's gonna be 1 degree. Orla is 0 degrees. Georgina is 1 degrees. Beverly Isles is gonna be 1 degree. So next hour, so 7 a.m. So London is 0 degrees. 2 - 2 is on white time. -1 is Collingwood, so most of the southern areas below freezing or freezing, except Niagara on the Lake and Niagara on Falls City. So those cities, Niagara on the Lake and Niagara Falls City, Niagara on the Lake is 2 degrees. 1 degree system, Niagara Falls City, Hamilton is +1. Downtown Toronto is 1 degree, so let's do minus. So 0 degrees in Brampton, -1 is Stouffville, -2 is in Orangeville, Newmarket. So Uxbridge -3, Oshawa -2, -2 is Coburg, -4 is in -4 is in Peterborough, -3 is in Belleville. Hamilton, Burlington, same thing, so I'm not gonna say Burlington anymore. So Lions Head Hope is going to be -1 degrees. +1 is in Thunder Beach, plus -1 is in Salt Lake Bay, and 0 degrees in Palm Beach. -2 is Barrie, -3 is in Georgina, close to. So Orla's -4, Beverly Hills is -2. So next hour. So London's +2, +1 is in Whiteham, 0 is 0 degrees. Collingwood. So Brampton, downtown Toronto is 2 degrees. Stouffville is 1 degrees. 2 degrees in Oshawa, 3 degrees is in Coburg, 1 degree in Peterborough, 2 degrees in Belleville, 0 degrees in Newmarket, Uxbridge. Hamilton, Niagara on the Lake is 3 degrees. Niagara Falls City is 2 degrees, including 48. 48 is 3 degrees, so it doesn't count actually. So usually I don't count. So 1 degree is in Orangeville. So 2 degrees in no, it's Thunder Beach. 1 degree is in Salt Lake Bay. Palm Beach is 1 degree. Lions Head Hope Bay, it's going to be Lions Head Hope Bay is actually 1 degree. So Barrie is going to be 1 degree. Georgina is 1 degree. Orla is 1 degree. Beverly Isles is 1 degree. So let's do 7 a.m. Second final hour. So London is 1 degree. 1 degree in Whiteham, Collingwood. Oshawa, downtown Toronto, Hamilton, Burlington, same thing. Niagara Falls City. So Brampton, Stouffville, 0 degrees. Downtown Toronto is 1 degree. -1 is in Newmarket, Orangeville. Uxbridge, 0 degrees. Coburg, 0 degrees. -3 is in Peterborough. -2 is in Belleville. Oakville is going to be +1 degrees. Niagara on the Lake is 2 degrees. So +3 is in Thunder Beach. +1 is in Salt Lake Bay. It could be +2, but it's going mostly +1 is in Salt Lake Bay. And +3 it's going to be Palm Beach. Then Lions Head, Hope Bay. It's going to be +1 degrees. So So Barry is going to be +1. Jordini is 0 degrees. Orella is -3 degrees. So next tower might skip a long time for whole time for Hanover and Port Elgin. So Brighton, Collingwood, Uxbridge is going to be 2 degrees. London, Brampton, Oshawa, Niagara Falls City is 4 degrees. Downtown Toronto, Niagara on the Lake, Hamilton, Green Spy, Cobourg, Belleville. It's going to be 5 degrees. Stoffel, Newmarket, Orangeville. It's going to be 3 degrees. Peterborough is only 1 is 4 degrees. So let's finally do like Thunder Beach. So Thunder Beach is going to be 2 degrees. Same thing in Salt Lake Bay. And Bomb Beach is also same thing. So Lions Head Bay is going to be 2 degrees. So Barry 2 degrees. Georgina 2 degrees. Orella 2 degrees. Everything is Georgian Beverly Heights is 2 degrees. So those cities. So, oh, this is the wrong time period. So 114, 14, 101. So ignore that hour, skip that hour. So London's 4 degrees, 2 degrees in Whiteton, 2 degrees in Galloway. Hamilton's 5 degrees, Brampton, downtown Toronto 4 degrees, 3 degrees in Stoffel, 2 degrees in Newmarket, 1 degrees is in Uxbridge, 2 degrees in Peterborough, 3 degrees in Oshawa, 4 degrees in Cobourg, 3 degrees in Belleville, Niagara on the Lakes 5 degrees, Niagara Falls City is 4 degrees, 4 degrees. Doesn't count. Orange Well, same thing as Newmarket, so they didn't change anything. So Oakville is 5 degrees, so Lions Head, Hope Bay, those cities are same thing, so it's gonna be no, Lions Head is actually closer to 2 degrees, and 3 degrees is actually is in Hope Bay. So Tunny Beach, Palm Beach is actually same temperature. So it's going to be 3 degrees. Salt Lake Bay is going to be 2 degrees. So Barrie is going to be 2 degrees. Aurela is going to be 1 degrees. Georginia is going to be 2 degrees. Beverly Isles is going to be 3 degrees. Could be 3 actually. So